question?
JB, with the way these first two games have gone, is it sort of a don't get too low, don't get too high kind of situation?
Yeah, we got to give guys credit where they deserve credit. I think tonight we did some really good things for some long stretches. Obviously, I think we still can get better. I think we will get better. But the things that we asked more often than not tonight, they did it. But we come back to work tomorrow and grind and try to get better. Our goal is to every single day become a better basketball team. So we'll take this win. We'll watch the film. We'll see what we did well. We'll see what we need to improve on. And we'll come back tomorrow and start working to get better.
How confident are you going into Monday's game against the Utah Jazz?
I mean, they're a good team, so you got to give them their respect. But I think if we play well, we can compete and beat anybody. We just have to find that consistency that we're looking for. And whenever you bring a new group together, you have those ups and downs. But we're getting better. The guys believe in what they're doing. They're connected with one another. Again, they'll compete with anybody. We just got to make sure that we're technically sound and paying attention to the details.
Garrett's probably not going to get 30 every night, but the last couple of years his three-point shooting percentage had been higher, and the way he shot so far, how do you feel about him being able to sustain that over the long haul?
I mean, I think he's gotten better as a three-point shooter and gotten more consistent. He puts the time in to what he's trying to do. The thing about Garrett is he has the ability to find whatever is necessary to help the team in those moments. Whether it's defensively taking the other team's best perimeter player. Tonight, he came out aggressive, looking to score the ball, playing hard, looking to set the tone for us just with his competitive nature. There might be nights, where he scores 4 points or 6 points, but he shuts down the other team's best offensive player. Then there's nights like tonight where, he can fill that void for you or get you jump started. But I just think he has that type of ability and understanding where, it's not about him ever. It's about what the team needs first and foremost.
Not to suggest you didn't believe these guys would bounce back, but how reassuring was it to put up 77 points in the first half, set a franchise record after only scoring 83 a couple nights ago?
I mean, after that game, again, we went back and we watched the film. And there was just things that we weren't doing the way that we wanted to do them. The thrust, the force, the aggressiveness that we wanted to play with. Again, will we score 77 points, every half? I don't think so. But these guys are committed to doing what we're asking them to do. They want to do it together. Not one of them, is selfish by nature. They're all team guys. And, when you move the ball and play that way and play for one another, you can have eruptions like we did today.
Coach, pretty much an even battle on the boards tonight. Can you kind of talk about, how you kind of recovered on that part of the game?
I mean, it's just a point of emphasis for us, and we're driving it home every single day. We've got to be better there. No matter what you do defensively, if you keep giving guys second and third opportunities offensively, the odds are just in their favor. And the way, teams are shooting the three ball now, and those offensive rebounds end up being kickouts for threes, it helps them immensely. So we got to be a great defensive rebounding team. We got to get stops, challenge shots, and then finish possessions, which in turn gives us an opportunity to start our break, and we can play with the thrust that we want to play with.
JB, what do you know at this point about JaMychal and given what he may be going through, how reassuring was it to see sort of, Jaren Jackson fast track the way he did tonight?
I mean, it was tough. I don't know if you guys could see what happened to JaMychal, but that's tough. And a guy, you talk about sacrifice, right? He goes out and he sacrifices his body for the team. In that moment, he goes and challenges a play where some people would have just backed off of and let the guy get the dunk. But JaMychal, being selfless and doing what was best for the team, wouldn't challenge the play. So I'll go back, and I don't know enough yet to comment on what's going on with him, but I'll have a conversation with our medical staff. But again, hats off to Jaren Jackson for stepping up the way that he did, and this is who we think we drafted. And we got high expectations for him. He got high expectations for himself, but even we were talking beforehand, it's like we've been together, a short amount of time, but in no situation have I seen a moment that's been too big for him. He's never been, too hype. He's never been too low. Whatever it is that's in front of him, he just attacks it head on. And for a guy who just turned 19 years old to be able to do that already speaks, to his character. It speaks to his upbringing. Give his parents a ton of credit, but he's a polished young man to be able to handle those situations.
JB, you said that Garrett does whatever you need him to do on any given night. What made what he did out there tonight what you needed out of him? Why was it?
It was just that, the bounce back mentality of being who we believe we can be. And he felt that he needed to set a tone on both ends of the floor. Being aggressive offensively, getting us going, again, defending well. So that was just, his mindset was to come in and be aggressive and to get us off to the right start. And I think he did that.
Two things. You said this is who you thought you had in Jaron. Did you know that offensively he would be as polished as he looks so far with the left hand in his side? And then secondly, this is your first regulation win as a head coach. Is there any meaning there? Is it just nice to get the W?
As far as Jaron goes, like when you go back and you watch him, especially in college, like around the basket, he had really, really good touch. The thing that I was been surprised with, and he showed it in summer league, is how he can make plays from the perimeter to get all the way to the basket to get to his left hand and finish. And a guy who's that long normally, isn't as coordinated or as fluid as he is. And he can put the ball, from the top of the key in one bounce and be all the way to the rim. And then, he's got the ability to change direction with that spin move as well. So that's the thing I think that's been, the most surprising. We knew, his ability to stretch the floor and the touch around the basket. But, that perimeter play and skill set I think has been surprising to me. And as far as I'm concerned, we just happy to get the win. Hopefully there's many more to come, and you're able to last a little while here and have some fun with it.
Coach, you'll take a 20-point win any day of the week, I'm sure, but at the same time, your team gave up about 49% field goal percentage. Can you kind of talk about what you liked or didn't like about the defense? Obviously, your offense kind of compensated, but talk about the defense a little bit tonight.
I mean, again, I think, in stretches, we were really good defensively. To come out and start the third quarter, I think we held them to 10 points through most of the way. Our first unit to start the game was really good defensively. They were really tied into our game plan and doing what we were asking them to do. We just have those spurts where we're not consistent enough in what our approach is. And you make mental mistakes, or you make mistakes because we're still learning, what exactly we're trying to do. In preseason and those types of things, it's hard to get every single scenario, to happen, or the time to work on it with a shortened amount of, games and practices and things like that. So there's still some things that we haven't seen and we're not comfortable yet. But the experience of playing with one another will get there.
Chandler Parsons came in, knocked down threes. Garrett Temple came in and knocked down threes. What was it like seeing that compared to the preseason, or even compared to Wednesday night? They just weren't going in.
I mean, anytime you make shots, the game is different. We all know that. It has a huge impact on the way guys see the game, how they feel. Going all the way back to, biddy ball, when you scored the ball, you were playing better defense. You were more aggressive. You were more active. So it's good to see the ball go in. And I think, we got it from everywhere. We had a bunch of guys making shots. So that's always a good thing.
Last question, Sharon.
Do you believe that the team can sustain the three-point shooting?
Yeah, I mean, the guys put in the time. That's why, you got to give them a ton of credit, is they work at it. They spend a lot of time in the gym before practice. Guys come back at night. And again, like, part of shooting is, is confidence and the belief in the ball going in. And when you work at it as much as our guys work at it, you believe it's going to go in when you get those opportunities. So, we're hopeful that with their work, it'll pay off for them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.